the first one after Christmas leading into league play is always a little bit scary, but I was really pleased with our preparation. I thought our 3 days of practice, the intensity, the attention to detail was where it needed to be. So I saw some a reflection of what we were doing in practice on the practice floor at times tonight defensively. Coppin State had been a really good team off the dribble, getting to the free throw line, 25, 26 times a game, 15, 16 offensive rebounds a game. So I thought we did a pretty good job of keeping them out of the paint. To their credit, they shot the three-point shot, much better, both as a team and, a few individuals that had really struggled shooting it on the year stepped up and shot it pretty well tonight. So offensively, we're really unselfish. These two guys up here have, our three starting guards have, 17 assists and 1 turnover between them. That's good basketball.
Questions first for the student athletes. Both guys, the things that were highlighted defensively were ball screen defense and staying in front of the dribble. In the practices leading up and then tonight, what strides do you think you guys made in those areas to kind of get ready?
Well, the stride I think we made most was just fighting over the ball screens more. The last few games, including Oklahoma, we let guards get downhill a lot, and we put our bigs in tough positions if we just give up easily when we get nailed on ball screens. So these last 3 days, we just focused on getting into the ball more, getting over the ball screens so we can get the bigs off to back to their man faster and put that fire out.
Just what Wab said about the ball screens, guarding the dribble, we really worked on moving our feet and keeping our hands back. We were getting a lot of cheap fouls, hand checking and whatnot, so we really drilled the ball screen getting over quicker and then, guarding the dribble without putting our hands on them for the last couple days.
Both guys, that just looked like a fun game to be a player in. Was it as much fun actually out on the court?
Yeah, it was. We spend so much time with each other throughout the year and throughout the summer that when you're gone and you're away from everyone from 3 days, it feels like an eternity. So I just was happy to get back on the court with my guys, and to see everyone focused and to see everyone smiling and to see Marlon get in the game, earlier than he usually has. And, for us to be able to sit back and just, watch everybody else and enjoy it and, have some fun, especially for our crowd, too, who, credit to them for coming out in this snowstorm. That showed the dedication to us. And, we wanted to give them a show and, just wanted to have fun, leading into conference play.
Waps keep saying what I would tell you. We battle with each other every day in practice, so it's always nice to be able to cheer the guys on that don't normally get to play. And we root for them on the bench there. But I think us being focused but having fun is when we play our best basketball. If we put too much pressure on ourselves, then we're thinking too much. So I think it was just a fun game just because we went out with each other and decided that's what we were going to do.
I guess both guys kind of assess what you think you got out of non-conference play and how that's prepared you for what you're going to be facing the next few months.
I think we faced adversity early. We got kicked in the mouth against Indiana, and we lost to Arizona State without executing. And then we lost to Loyola because we weren't focused. And, we took them teams lightly, and I think we learned a lot of lessons. I also think that we got some of our young guys a lot of experience. And I think we've grown leadership-wise also. I know I had to take some steps even throughout the year. Me and Coach Mack talked, and if the team wants to go, we need to go, and they need to follow me, then I need to be doing all the right things and leading by example on and off the court, coming into practice every day with the same attitude of getting better and no matter the moods, So being able to hold each other accountable is a big reason why I think we've taken steps offensively and defensively. I think our relationships is the best team I've been on, since I've been playing basketball. And I think that helps us out, a lot. So I just think we've been tested, and I think that we know what we want to do. And right now it's going to decide if we're going to do it to have the year that we think we can have.
After a 3-minute answer, I don't really have much else to say. I think our biggest strides, from this non-conference has been defensively. We've lost games because of defense, so we've drilled a lot of different schemes defensively in, and I think that's where we've made our biggest strides in what we've gotten out of non-conference.
Isaiah, you can go first this time. I guess season high 27 assists tonight. I guess when you guys you'll talk a lot about defense as far as things need to shore up in that area, but the way you guys shared the basketball in the non-conference, the way you guys are capable of shooting it, it has to feel pretty good going into conference, but the way you're playing offensively.
Absolutely. You know, having a game like this where, you know, everybody shares the ball like that, it really gives you a rhythm going into the conference play. But now what we need to do is make sure that it doesn't stop. And, you know, everybody tries to get selfish. We need to make sure that it keeps moving, and we play Creighton basketball. But it's absolutely something that you want going into conference.
Well, the biggest thing I want to just make sure that we harp on is, you know, everything is going well tonight. So everyone can share the ball and everyone can, you know, have fun. But when things get tough, will we be about ourselves, or will we still be about the team, still play our offense? And I think we showed that against Oklahoma. But I think we need to be consistent, you know, through the tough times too.
Maurice, one of the reasons you came to Creighton was to be able to play in the Big East right around the corner. You get your first game in New York. Kind of talk about your emotions and how you feel about that.
I'm very excited. I just feel like a lot of hard work that, you know, I put in has paid off. And I thank, you know, Creighton and Coach Mack for giving me the opportunity to, you know, to come here and to, you know, to live out a dream that I've always had, you know, since I was a little kid. But I'm really just trying to just lead my team, and I really try not to think about myself these days. Everything is about the team and about the program. So I just want to go out and be as effective as I can for the team in any way possible.
Isaiah, over about the last 9 games, Maurice has an assistant turnover ratio of about 4 to 1. The first 5 games, he was at almost below 2 to 1. What have you seen differently out of this game?
You know, he's just, you know, nothing that I haven't seen in the summertime. You know, the first couple games he was making uncharacteristic turnovers, and you know, we all put our trust in Wap. We know that he's going to make some mistakes, but we know that most of the time it's going to be like the last 9 games where he's going to have a 4 to 1 assist to turnover. So, you know, nothing new. He just, you know, finally got some passes to go his way.
Same question, Maurice. What's been the difference?
I just think the difference is I think I was trying to score too much at the beginning of the season. And I was getting myself into trouble by dribbling, you know, too deep and, you know, just rushing and not being poised. But I think I've adjusted well to the length of the big guys. You know, they're taller, you know, they're more athletic. And that's something I had to get used to coming from conferences like the Patriot League and the America East. But I think I've got in. I watched film with Coach Mack, and I've gotten a better understanding of what he wants me to do, and I'm just going there trying to execute everything that we talked about before, and I think I'm doing that well now.
One more for the student athletes.
Maurice, you obviously were very high on this team before the season started. Still as high on.
I'm still as high, if not higher. You know, I really feel like we have so much potential if we do everything that, you know, Coach Mack asked us to do. Execute the game plan, stay focused, and not just for 5 or 10 minutes, but for the entire 40. And I think once we get to that point, you know, we'll have success. And even if we lose, you know, playing our basketball the way we're supposed to for 40 minutes, you know, we have to live with those results.
Thanks, guys.
See you tomorrow. Good job, Zeke. Good job, Bob.
Continue on with questions for Coach.
Yes, you spent a lot of time talking about what you wanted to see out of the team defensively leading up to this game, leading up to conference play. What strides did you see tonight that were made or in preparation? What do you think?
There was a little bit more fight there, you know, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, you know, for, you know, Shivers hit 2 threes, and I think he was 5 of 28 or something like that on the year, and I'm not sure Treadwell was much better than that. So some of that is in our preparation. We're closing out a little shorter on guys that are typically more drivers than shooters. And, you know, now when they hit 1 or 2, you obviously have to adjust your strategy. So, you know, some of the early stuff was more on the scouting report in our preparation than it was on them. But, you know, you mentioned it earlier, one of the guys did. I thought we fought ball screens a little bit better. I thought we fought the dribble better and kept them out of the paint. better than we had some other teams. And, you know, it's going to be a work in progress. It's something that hopefully is developing throughout the year. But, you know, the fundamental defensive parts of practice, that 15 or 20 minutes that we've spent the last 2 days, the Christmas night we spent much more than that, is going to be part of every practice until it's where I want it to be. And it's generally those aren't drills you need to do this time of year. But for whatever reason, this team needs constant reminders of positioning and the things you have to do and the things you have to look for in certain situations. So it's on us as a coaching staff to make sure we put them in a position to be better at that. And you know, I think they're genuine in that they want to improve. Obviously, we've got some skill offensively, and we're very unselfish on the offensive end of the floor. But at times we're selfish on the defensive end of the floor because we may not communicate loud enough or early enough. Our help may not be in this where it's supposed to be. We may not fight the dribble or the ball screen maybe with as much tenacity as we have to. And all those things are selfish, which doesn't make sense because it's one of the more unselfish basketball teams on the offensive end that I've ever coached. So we've just got to keep working on that because I don't think, like I said, I think they're genuine in their desire to improve on that end of the floor.
I guess same question I asked the guys, Mac. Just kind of assess what you think this group has gotten out of the defensive play.
You know, I think we're certainly more prepared because of our experiences. I think the Indiana experience allowed us to go to Oklahoma and compete and, you know, be in the game with 5 minutes to go where it's a one-possession game. I'm not sure without that experience first that we needed that growth. It's unfortunate that it happened because I think we're better than what we played that night. But we learned a lot about ourselves. You know, my concern is we haven't won any close games. We've really been in 3 games that were one-possession games with 5 minutes to go. Arizona State, Loyola, you know, at the end we had the ball with a chance to take the lead, and then Oklahoma, which was a one-possession game, and I believe with a little over 4 minutes to go. So that's my concern. We haven't been in a game where we've got to make plays on both ends of the floor down the stretch, and we found a way to do it. I think we're in a better spot now than we were before when that happens again. We're executing some things out of timeouts better. I think our ball movement and our player movement is improved on the offensive end of the floor. And as I alluded to earlier, I think we're making strides defensively. It certainly wouldn't appear, you wouldn't believe that looking at their three-point percentage tonight. But we did some things better against the ball screens and against the dribble than we've been doing. So we're moving the right direction. And I think the stats got a little skewed with, you know, us really clearing the bench with 7 or 8 minutes left.
You probably could sound like a broken record talking about how well your offense has played, but you get 7 double figures together, all under 20, you get 27 assists, season high. As a coach, I mean, as a player it's probably contagious, but as a coach, how do you feel seeing the way they're kind of clicking offensively going into conference play?
Well, it's good. You know, if you're struggling a little bit defensively, then you better have something to hang your hat on. And, you know, people are going to have to figure out how to defend us. And you know, we have to get better on the other end of the floor. I've said it before. Right now we're a top 15 or 20 team in the country offensively, but we're in the bottom. You know, we're not in the top 200 defensively. So somehow we've got to inch that number down. The Golden State is number 1 in the NBA in offense, but they're number 2 in defense. There's a reason they only have 1 loss. So, you know, we have to understand how improvement on that end of the floor can really help our team. But, you know, our offense is good because we're unselfish and we're willing to run, you know, 105 points on 71 possessions. I don't care who you're playing. That's really efficient offense.
Any other questions? You talked about it last time, just walks, maybe playing him more under control has led to maybe a more efficiency on his part. I mean, 4 to 1 point assist and turnover over a 9-game stretch.
It's pretty impressive. And you know, I think part of it is, I think, twofold. I think number one, I think he made, as Isaiah said, some uncharacteristic turnovers that we hadn't really even seen in practice that he made in games. But I think part of it, and I think he learned because of that. And secondly, I think he's become more comfortable with the offense and where his teammates are and what their strengths are. And, when you penetrate, you've got to know, if I penetrate baseline, somebody's going to fill in behind me. If I penetrate middle, where are my shooters going to be? And in the ball screens, what are the things I need to look for with the skill makeup of my teammates? And he's done a better job of reading those situations. And as he said, I think there were times early he was looking for a shot, and I still want him looking for a shot. And I don't want him to be unaggressive. I want him attacking the rim. If they go under a ball screen, he needs to pull that 15-footer every single time. He's in the gym working on that. So you have to shoot it. So, but as he mentioned, we had some long talks about the consistency in which he was leading, and that if you're in that position, you can't have bad days. You can't be sitting in the locker room not really feeling like practice and giving that vibe to your teammates. Your teammates, when you're a leader, they have to know what to expect from you, what they're going to get from you on a daily basis. And he's done a much better job of that the last 3 weeks, of just bringing a consistent effort, a consistent attitude, consistent level of communication to practice on a daily basis. And because of that, it develops a higher level of trust. And really, that's what good teams have it. And right now we have it.
We talked the other day about so many newcomers to Big East play and your concern or any concerns you had about that. Flipping it, how important are those guys to have been through this league a couple of times to make sure that you guys that way?
No, it's really important. Guys like Jeff and James and Z. In particular, Zach's been through it. But Jeff, James, Z, Toby, probably the guys that have played the most minutes. Zach certainly has been in those games. But just understanding, and that their teammates understand, that everything gets ratcheted up on Thursday. The level of intensity, the level of physicality. It just every possession even means more. Because you're going to get everybody's best shot. There's 13 games worth of film. There aren't many secrets anymore. You have to go execute your stuff better than they can execute their defense, or you have to execute your defense against their offense better than they can execute. And it really comes down to having that mindset that we're going to strive for perfection. We'll talk a lot about tomorrow about where we want to be in this league and what we have to do to get there. But you're exactly right. Our leadership and the guys that have been through it are going to be really important for us, especially, we got 3 games in 6 or 7 days to start league play, 1 on the road and 2 at home against really good teams. So, we need to, that leadership can't wait around for 10 days or 2 weeks. We need it to step forward starting tomorrow at practice.
You just mentioned it a little bit there, but before the season started and you kind of saw where everybody started them in this conference, it kind of put a chip on their shoulder. But that can maybe create nervous energy as far as when you think about your margin for error, or it can make you really hungry as far as what you want to prove. Where on that spectrum do you think this group is heading into the conference?
I think they had a good understanding of what our faults were and what our weaknesses were when we went through that stretch, especially Arizona State and Loyola. And it gets magnified when you lose a close game. And sometimes when you win by 10, you have some of the same problems, but they don't show their face as much because it doesn't come down to a possession at the end. But I think they're a confident team, but I also think they understand where we need to improve, because we have 13 games of data. It's not a small sample size anymore. The numbers defensively don't lie. Now, the numbers offensively don't lie either. They are what they are. 40% from the three-point line, 51% from the field. Our free throw shooting's improved. Our assist to turnover is outstanding. So those are great numbers, and we understand that if we're unselfish and we believe and trust in one another on the offensive end, good things can happen. But we also have a good grasp on defensively where we have to improve. So, if we're going to go to St. John's and win, we're going to have to defend. They beat Syracuse there, and I watched them play against South Carolina, who's a top 25 team. That was a 2 or 3 possession game with 8 minutes to go before South Carolina got away. So now they've lost some games maybe you wouldn't think they'd lose, but you know, I like to look at what a team's potential is, because on December 31st in your opening league play, you're going to get their best shot, and we have to be ready for that, and I'm confident we will be.